Hi, you're listening to Everyday Superpower, a place where you can take some time to learn about body language, how to read it, and how to correctly understand the signals other people give to you without even knowing, alongside the signals you give out into the world. Essentially, you're going to be able to read the minds of others purely through analysing their reactions and their body and their gestures and their behaviours in real time, whether it be right there in front of you, whether it be through a video, watching television, and so on and so forth. It really is like learning a real life superpower. So if you are interested in learning, I'd recommend you click like and subscribe, okay? As I have a whole catalogue of material I'm going to be putting out. Thank you very much. So today we're going to be looking at a very feminine behaviour, alright? It's regarding the tilt of the hips, okay? Some may call it a hip cant. It's a swing of the hips. I'm sure you can picture that in your head. Just a general tilting of the pelvis, which accentuates the hips. Alright, it's a very feminine behaviour. Now, when I speak of the swing of the hips, I'm not going to be talking about walking in this particular video, although it does share some of the same message. We're just going to be talking about standing. Potentially sitting to some degree, like if you lie and you accentuate the hips, you could consider that, but we're going to be talking about stationary, so a woman who is standing up, alright? So, a woman, alright, is going to emphasize and project the childbearing hips, alright, as a sexual cue to promote how fertile she is and really to just accent that feminine part of her body. A woman's hips are naturally broader than a man's, so what they have is feminine, whereas our narrow hips are more masculine, you see. And when a woman accentuates what makes her feminine, it tends to be quite alluring and attractive to a man, alright? So a woman will slouch somewhat when standing to one side to emphasize the hips and the curvature of them, alright? So this can also be accented in means when an individual is lying or sitting. So if you imagine a woman lying with a pillow beneath her hip, raising one of her hips up into the air, okay, it's very sexual. It promotes childbearing and childbirth. Alright, that's why we like hips. That's why we like a tight waist with a large hip ratio. It promotes health and fertility, and it triggers us in a biologically hardwired means, alright, as we are only animals, and procreation and childbearing is sort of the end of the line mission, or at least, you know, middle of the way, and then we raise the children, we raise the child, so on and so forth. And that doesn't necessarily have to be our child we're raising and whatnot. But what you have to consider is we still are hardwired to see that in potential mates and what we are, you know, sexually interested in. Anyway, sorry if I lost my train of thought a little bit there. I'm currently recording in a busy area, so I just got a little bit sidetracked. But yeah, so it showcases fertility. Procreation is our purpose, and that's why it's linked to why we find the hip tilt attractive or eye-catching. It accents the bum if we're looking from behind, and of course that's not a bad thing, you know. So effeminate men do this, but so do heterosexual normal men, as we can find it comfortable to rest on one leg, you know, especially if we've been moving around a lot. But we may not necessarily be doing it for the same reasons a woman does, alright? Although if a man does want to accent his bum, you know, women do like that, so I wouldn't count it out personally if you're looking for attraction tips and seductive purposes behind understanding body language and nonverbal communication, you know, it does work. So anyway, that's it. So if you're going to take one note from this, is that the difference between men and women is sexy and attractive to those whom are interested in that particular sex. So as a man, if we're interested in women, what accentuates the woman and the feminine is brilliant, it's attractive to us. And vice versa, what is masculine attracts the feminine. Okay, so likewise with the woman with the tilt of the hips, if the man is to, accentuate on what makes them masculine, the woman should find attraction in that. Of course, everyone's different, and some people may not and some people may, but as a general rule of thumb, it's the yin and yang. So just to re-clarify, a little definition. This is the hip tilt, and the woman will slouch when standing to one side, alright? So she'll rest on one leg. Of course, she'll be standing on both legs, but she'll rest more on one particular foot. She'll bring her hip out to the side, and she'll emphasize the hips and the curvature of them, okay? This is to accent the childbirthing, the childbearing, and this applies to when a woman walks and shakes her hips side to side, and it's where the effeminate homosexual man takes his, walking with the hips walk from this particular behaviour. Hopefully this has been of benefit. If you enjoy what you hear and you want to learn more, I would recommend you click like and subscribe. See you at the next video. Thank you. Bye.